Morning everybody, and welcome to what you can see is a very wet and soggy Wales. This morning I'm doing some location scouting for our bright, sunny, misty days, which this isn't. I mean, it's misty, but yeah, not bright and sunny. No matter, because I want to find the kind of shots that I would get on a day like that, and it's better to do it on a day that's not like that, because otherwise I'd be stressed running around trying to find the exact shot. The size of these trees. Never forget to look backwards when you're shooting places like this. Lovely bit of mist. In fact, I'm going to get the polarizer out, I think. Don't know which I prefer, but the polarizer just takes the glare off of the wet road. It does also cost me a couple of stops of light, which isn't ideal when the sun hasn't even risen yet, but not that we'd see it this morning. Well, having just flown the drone around and got some nice pictures of the mist in the valley, I sort of wish I had some more valley views, really, but I'm not going to get that in these woods, apart from this opening, which was perfect for flying the drone, so I can't complain too much. Also, if you'd have told me when I was 10 that part of my job would involve flying a camera around and wearing an action camera on my chest, I'd have probably felt like James Bond. I'd have left out the details, you know, the fact that I just make YouTube videos about photography. Not that I don't think that's cool, it's just, it's not James Bond, is it? Oh, look at that now. 70 to 200, I think. 200 mil, 400th of a second, f4. I do love me a bit of mist. Right, that mist needs to come over here now, to this side. Come on. Oh yeah. There's some mist down here. Not quite on the road, it doesn't look like, but it's only a tiny patch. I'm very close to the river, that's probably why. Well, as you can see, the mist still hasn't arrived from the other side of the valley. The rain has though, so that's nice. I kind of need to find two shots, one in that direction and one in that direction, because sunrise is over there this time of year and sunset is over there, which obviously changes as the year goes on. But this shot kind of needs to be taken in the next few weeks, because once all this greenery goes, the scene isn't anywhere near as interesting. So yeah, one shot that way, one shot this way. I'm not convinced I found either yet. Well, the forecast suggested that this rain was going to stop at 7 AM. It's now 7:30 and it's got heavier, which is the most Welsh thing you can imagine. Right, onwards. I mean, it's got so heavy that I've put my camera away, and I'm not the sort of person to put my camera away just because it starts raining. I trust weather sealing implicitly, but there's literally no point having my camera out at the minute. Also, I've been thinking recently about how I think there are two kinds of photographer, and I'm not talking about genres of photography like portraiture or documentary, whatever. I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is photographers fall into two categories that I think are these. First category, people like me who tend to just go out for the experience of being out, and they take a camera with them to document it. The second group of photographers is photographers who primarily enjoy the experience of taking photos ahead of the experience of just being out in the great outdoors. And yeah, I primarily fall into bucket one, I would say. I much prefer the experience of being out as opposed to just taking photos, even though the taking photos is my job. But days like this when I'm scouting, it is all about the photos, really. I mean, I'm enjoying being out, but I'm on a mission. I am enjoying being out. This does still feel quite nice, even though I'm getting absolutely drenched. It could be worse, it could be winter. Yeah, I'm not really a fan of rain in winter when you get cold as well. I'm not cold. Look on the bright side. Right, well, I've definitely reached the end of the bit of woodland that I'm interested in, so I shall head back, and now it's all on this direction back to the car as to whether I find these two potential shots. To be honest, actually, it's not as long a stretch as I remember. I was down here a couple of days ago on my bike, and I thought it was a good couple of miles of woods, and I thought therefore it was essential to scout beforehand to make sure that I got the best of the light or was in the best place for the best conditions. But actually, I think I could probably manage a few different options if I run about when those conditions occur, hopefully sometime in the next week or two. Because like I said, after that, the foliage might start dying back a bit. I've just thought you might also be interested in why it is that I only seem interested in the road. I mean, I'm in this amazing woodland and I'm not veering off the road at all. The reason for that is that I've noticed over the past, I don't know, 6 or 12 months, that I'm particularly interested when it comes to my photography in man-made stuff, or featuring something that's man-made in a lot of my photos. And that's been the case for years, but it's only really recently that I've kind of become more aware of that. So I'm talking people, buildings, roads, yeah, that kind of thing. I sort of seem to be drawn to that stuff, and in the case of this, I'm definitely drawn to this little road with the pine needles all the way along it on either side. Vibrant pine needles. Not particularly today, but on other days. I should also say, sorry, I'm getting a lot of time to think as I walk up and down here. I should also say that the reason for wanting a shot in both directions and for sunrise and sunset is that even though I can shoot in both directions in both of those conditions, I might want a shot, I'm anticipating wanting a shot shooting partially into the sun to get the sun rays through the trees. So for that shot, I will need a plan for both directions, even though it'll be possible to make use of light whatever direction it comes from, really, in a scene like this. Still having no luck though. I've made a video about why my phone is so integral to my scouting process, and the reason really is GPS. So basically, any photo that I take, I can just swipe up and I get an exact location on a map of where I took it. So I stick those into folders, those images, for basically the conditions that I think they're conducive for. So fog, sunrise, sunset, that kind of thing. I've made a video about it, I'll link it here. But yeah, my phone is an excellent piece of kit for scouting, and yours is too. Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to 4 days later and the exact same spot. It's not raining today, as you can see, which is very welcome, but I'd hoped when I left the house this morning that it was going to get better than that, and that conditions today were actually going to be perfect for the kind of thing I wanted. And I've not entirely lost hope yet. You might be able to see over the other side of the valley there is some mist, and then above that it kind of slowly graduates into blue sky. So fingers crossed, when sunrise happens in, talk amongst yourselves, 9 minutes time, we'll start to see some interesting sunbursts through the trees, and fingers crossed that will be accompanied by some mist, although the mist is dispersing by the second. It was foggy at my house this morning, and I live at sea level, and I just assumed that up here, and in accordance with the forecast, that there would be lots of fog, but it's not here. Right, 2 minutes until sunrise. I say that like it matters. It doesn't really, because, well, there's a bank of cloud over there, there's some hills and mountains, which basically means that sunrise here, from this perspective, will be quite a lot later than actual sunrise. But that's okay, because it gives me a bit of time to talk through this scene, which I took a photo of the other day and was probably my favourite photo from the scouting mission. Now, it caught my attention because of this big tree here. I don't know what it is it a redwood or something? I don't know, but the detail on it is lovely. That, followed by the trees in the midground, particularly when they were shrouded in mist, I thought worked really well. And then on the right-hand side of the image is the human element that I was talking about, this road, which is decorated by these lovely, colourful, I want to say pine needles, is that right? Anyway, I thought that all came together brilliantly, and I think when the sun hits it, it'll just give a different element and will be well worth taking as well. I mean, ideally there would be mist and sunshine. That would be the absolute gold standard, but yeah, I don't think we're going to get that today, sadly. Anyway, while we wait for the sun to come, it's probably a good time for me to stick some meat on the bones of the thing that I was talking about the other day, the two types of photographer thing. Now, I definitely don't think that either of these types of photographer is any better than the other. Like I said, I have been both. Today, I mean, I can't remember if it's type 1 or type 2, but I'm the sort of photographer who was out purely to try and take a photo, which is not usually the case, but this morning, it definitely is. Now, the downside of that is that there's a very good chance that I could become one of those kinds of people who you play tennis or golf with, and then afterwards, if they've lost and you go for a drink, they're just sulking the whole time, and it's not a particularly nice atmosphere. I've definitely been that person in the past, and on days like this, when I'm trying to get one photo, and that's the sole aim of being out, if I don't get that photo, well, I can turn into a bit of a grumpy person. And I think there are times where that's forgivable. You know, if you're about to take a portfolio shot, you think it's going to be the shot that makes your career, and then your battery dies, or your card corrupts, or the camera doesn't focus properly, or you've not got the right lens on, it hurts. Particularly if there's something that you've done wrong, I think. That's when it really gets you. And that's why I count my blessings that most of the time I consider myself the sort of person who goes out primarily to be in nature and secondarily to take photos, because it means it's not the end of the world to me if I don't get a photo. Even though it is my job, as I was saying the other day. I do care about getting photos, it's just not the be all and end all to me. I like being in the outdoors. There's some mist. You see the tops of those trees? I mean, you can, but not as clearly as you could 30 seconds ago. How much is that clutching at straws? Well, this drone footage is a bit of a kick in the teeth. I'm definitely not in the right place to capitalise on this morning. Seriously, look at the mist at this level on the other side of the valley, just like it was the other day. What is going on? Why? There is nothing here. I'm about to become one of those people, aren't I, that I was just talking about. Furious at lack of photos. Well, this is a little bit embarrassing. You know, I spent ages telling you about that scene down there and how I was going to wait for the sun to come in. I thought it was going to be a side-lit scene. I thought it was going to be amazing. I thought the sun was going to rise somewhere over there. What's actually happening is that the sun is rising over there directly behind you, which would front light the scene and not work for what I have in mind at all. Oh dear. How has this happened? A bit of a post-mortem, really, is what I'm going through at the moment. Basically, what I think has happened is I didn't take a phone photo from there the other day. I didn't think I'd need the GPS coordinates because I know exactly where it is. Trouble is, I've then put the wrong bend in the road into photo pills when working out where the sun would be, and that has meant that I thought the sunrise was going to be over there. It's actually over there. Not paying enough attention, basically. Idiot. And particularly embarrassing on a day when I'm making a big song and dance about how I'm only out for photos today, which is unusual for me and not the experience. Because if I was out for the experience, like I usually am, I wouldn't be that bothered by this. But I've literally just been telling you that today I'm out for the photo. And I've messed up. No! Well, that was a bit of a calamity, wasn't it? But never mind. Luckily, I have a drone, and the drone saved the day because I really like this image. Even though, when I look at it, I'm reminded that I really shouldn't have gone to the woods today. I should have gone to find a viewpoint, like the drone did. It's not quite as good when you don't see it with your own eyes, but never mind. And to be fair, I did really like the photo from the Scout the other day. That worked out quite well, so not too bad. Anyway, in last week's video, you might remember I was doing a camera bag giveaway, and lots of you left a comment saying, I want a camera bag, or something to that effect. Can't remember what I said. I think it was, I want a camera bag. Yes, anyway, lots of you entered, so do check if you left one of those comments to see if you've had a reply from me, because if you have, then, well, you'll have won a camera bag. So yeah, thanks everyone for playing along with that. To the winners, I really hope you get some good use out of those bags, because they're fantastic bags, and I've really enjoyed using them. And thank you to you for watching. I'll see you next week. In the meantime, I'm going to go back here probably and try and start the scouting all over again. This time paying a bit more attention to photo pills. See you then.